The Atlantic Ocean holds many secrets, but none are as chilling as the stretch of water known as the infamous and mysterious Bermuda Triangle today. In 1945, 5 military aircraft took off on a routine training mission, only to vanish into thin air without leaving a single trace behind. The atmosphere in the cockpits turned from calm to chaotic, as the pilots realized their instruments were no longer providing them with any reliable data at all. Everything is wrong, the compasses are spinning out of control, and we have no idea where we are, pilot Charles Taylor shouted over the radio transmission. Those were among the final words heard from Flight 19 before they were swallowed by the void, leaving the world searching for answers that never came. The radar screens went blank, and the silence that followed was deafening as the military realized they had lost an entire squadron in the calm sea. A massive search and rescue operation was launched immediately, but despite the vast resources deployed, not a single piece of wreckage was ever found thereafter. How could 5 sophisticated warplanes and their experienced crews simply vanish? This question would birth one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century in history. The disappearance of Flight 19 became the cornerstone of the legend, a tragic event that suggested something truly supernatural was at work in the deep. The ocean looks peaceful from above, but beneath the surface, a dark history of missing souls and broken ships continues to haunt our collective human imagination. Decades have passed, yet the file on Flight 19 remains open in the minds of theorists who believe the triangle is a gateway to another realm. Was it a freak weather event, a mechanical failure of epic proportions, or something much more sinister that the government is still hiding from us today? The last radio signals were weak and distorted, suggesting that the planes had entered a zone where physics and logic no longer seemed to apply anymore. The searchers themselves reported strange phenomena, including lights in the sky and malfunctioning equipment, adding even more layers of mystery to the already tragic search. As the sun set on that fateful day in 1945, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle was officially born, written in the missing flight logs. Welcome to our deep dive into the heart of darkness. Today, we investigate what is truly wrong with the Bermuda Triangle and why things disappear there. To understand the present, we must look at the geography of this dreaded place, a region that has captured the fear of sailors for many centuries. The triangle is defined by 3 points: Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Within these boundaries lies over 1 million square kilometers of the most treacherous water. This massive area is not just a spot on the map. It is a complex environment where deep-sea currents and unpredictable weather patterns collide constantly. Even the famous explorer Christopher Columbus recorded strange occurrences here in 1492, noting a great flame of fire that crashed into the dark sea. Columbus also noted that his compass acted strangely, a detail that has been cited by theorists for generations as proof of the area's inherent magnetic anomalies. However, the name Bermuda Triangle wasn't coined until 1964, when writer Vincent Gaddis published a sensational cover story in the pulp magazine called Argosy. With that one article, a series of unrelated maritime accidents were woven into a single, terrifying narrative that captured the public's imagination and never let go. The area includes the Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest part of the Atlantic, where the ocean floor drops to depths of over 8,000 meters down. The Gulf Stream, a powerful and swift ocean current, acts like a giant conveyor belt, capable of carrying wreckage far away from an accident site quickly. Weather in this region can change in an instant, with violent storms appearing out of nowhere and disappearing just as fast, leaving no warning for sailors. Modern scientists argue that there is nothing statistically unusual about the number of disappearances here, given the massive amount of air and sea traffic passing. It is one of the most traveled shipping lanes in the world, serving as a primary route for vessels heading to ports in the Americas and Europe. Yet, Despite the logical explanations, the Devil's Triangle remains a place where people believe the laws of nature simply do not apply like they do elsewhere. Whether it is ancient curses or magnetic shifts, the reputation of this area is built on a foundation of fear and centuries of unexplained maritime history. Now, we step into the shadows to examine the most famous cases of the ships that sailed into the Triangle and were never seen again by anyone. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops in 1918 remains the single largest loss of life in U.S. naval history, not involving a direct combat engagement. The ship was carrying over 300 people and a massive cargo of ore when it vanished without sending a single distress signal or SOS call. No wreckage was ever found, and no bodies were recovered. It was as if the massive steel vessel had been plucked from the surface by a god. Searches for the Cyclops continue to this day, but the deep Atlantic mud has kept its secret well hidden for over a century of modern exploration. Then there is the strange case of the Carroll A. Deering, found aground off North Carolina in 1921, a true ghost ship of the sea. The crew had completely vanished, yet food was found prepared on the stove as if they had been interrupted right in the middle of a meal. All the lifeboats were missing, but the logs and navigation equipment were gone too, leaving investigators with nothing but theories about mutiny or piracy or worse. Cases like the Deering reinforce the idea that the Triangle doesn't just sink ships. It sometimes makes the people on them disappear into another dimension entirely. Over the last century, it is estimated that dozens of planes and hundreds of ships have been lost within these borders, fueling the growing urban legend. Each disappearance represents families left without answers and sailors who left port never knowing they were sailing into a trap of the unknown sea. Survivors often speak of electronic fog, a strange mist that seems to cling to the vessels and disrupt all electronic systems and communication with shore. The sea here is not just water. It feels alive to those who have faced its wrath and lived to tell the stories of near misses and terror. Even with today's GPS and satellite technology, sailors still report an uneasy feeling when crossing into these waters, as if they are being watched closely. The statistics may say one thing, but the legends say another. Do you believe in ghost ships? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below now. Old sailors say the ocean never gives back what it takes, especially in the Bermuda Triangle, where the water is as deep as the mystery itself. If we look at the hard data, the Bermuda Triangle is not technically more dangerous than any other high-traffic area, yet its stories are much darker. The lack of debris is the most haunting part of these disappearances. No oil slicks, no floating wood, just the empty blue surface of the Atlantic. This lack of evidence has led many to abandon science and look toward the stars or ancient myths for a more satisfying explanation for the tragedy. One of the most popular supernatural theories suggests that the lost city of Atlantis lies beneath the Triangle, using its advanced technology to disrupt ships. The legendary fire crystals of Atlantis are said to emit powerful energy beams that could easily disable the navigation systems of any modern aircraft or boat. Others believe in vile vortices, or wormholes, natural tears in the fabric of space-time that suck vessels into another dimension or a different time entirely. This would explain why no wreckage is ever found. The ships and planes aren't at the bottom of the ocean, they are simply somewhere else entirely. Then there are the alien theories. Some claim the Bermuda Triangle is a site for an underwater extraterrestrial base located deep within the Puerto Rico Trench. Unidentified submerged objects, or USOs, have been reported by naval sonar operators, moving at speeds that defy our current understanding of physics and fluid dynamics. Are we being harvested by a superior civilization? While it sounds like science fiction, many people find this more believable than the official government explanations provided. Some even suggest the triangle is a glitch in our reality, a place where the simulation of our universe fails and things just fall through. These theories speak to our deep-seated need to explain the unexplainable, to find a reason for the senseless loss of so many lives over time. The discovery of the Bimini Road, a series of stone structures underwater, provided fuel for those who believe an ancient, advanced civilization once ruled this region. Whether these stones are natural or man-made is still debated, but they remain a central pillar of the supernatural narrative surrounding the mysterious Bermuda Triangle. Time slips are another frequent report, where pilots claim to have traveled hundreds of miles in minutes, arriving at their destination far earlier than physically possible. Is there a collective psychic energy in this place? A sea of lost souls that draws others in to share their fate in the dark depths? These ideas have been popularized by Hollywood and novelists, turning a series of tragic accidents into a global phenomenon of pop culture mystery and sci-fi lore. But as we move from the fantastical to the factual, we find that nature itself can be far more terrifying and efficient than any alien technology. Let us put the myths aside for a moment and look at the terrifying scientific realities that could explain the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle today. One of the most grounded scientific theories involves methane hydrates, massive pockets of natural gas trapped beneath the seafloor under immense pressure of the ocean. If these pockets erupt, they release a giant cloud of gas that significantly reduces the density of the water above it in a matter of seconds. In this aerated water, a ship can no longer float. It loses all buoyancy and sinks like a stone, leaving absolutely no time to send an SOS. The ship would be buried by falling sediment almost immediately, explaining why searchers can find no trace of the vessel on the surface or the floor. This gas doesn't just affect ships. If a plane flies through a high concentration of methane, the gas can cause engine failure by displacing the necessary oxygen. The plane would also lose lift in the less dense air, plummeting into the sea before the pilot even realizes what is happening to their aircraft. Another deadly natural phenomenon is the rogue wave. These are massive walls of water that can reach heights of over 30 meters without any warning. In the Bermuda Triangle, storms from the south, east, and north can collide, creating a perfect storm of wave energy that forms these monstrous walls. Even the largest ships are not designed to withstand such force. A rogue wave can snap a hull in two or capsize a vessel in seconds. There is no surviving a direct hit from a rogue wave. It is a sudden, violent end that leaves nothing behind but the indifferent, churning seawater. Researchers have successfully modeled these conditions in the lab, proving that the unique geography of the triangle is a breeding ground for these deadly sea monsters. Then there are microbursts, sudden downward blasts of air from thunderstorms that can hit the ocean's surface with the power of a small nuclear bomb blast. For a low-flying plane, a microburst is a death sentence. It pushes the aircraft down so hard and fast that no pilot can possibly pull up. Tropical storms and hurricanes are also frequent visitors to this region, often appearing much faster than historical weather forecasts were able to predict for sailors. Some meteorologists point to rare hexagonal clouds that create localized air bombs with wind speeds exceeding 270 kilometers per hour in total. Nature is a complex machine, and in the Bermuda Triangle, all the parts seem to move in a way that is perfectly designed to destroy ships. When we combine these factors, the mystery begins to look more like a series of extreme but natural environmental hazards that occur in this unique zone. But science still has to explain one of the most persistent reports from the triangle: the failure of the most basic navigational tool, the compass. Is it magnetism, or is it something even simpler? Let's look at why pilots and captains lose their way in this vast, blue, featureless wilderness. The phenomenon of magnetic declination is real. For many years, the Bermuda Triangle was one of the few places where true north and magnetic north aligned. For an inexperienced pilot, this can lead to a significant navigation error. A few degrees of mistake can put you hundreds of miles off course very quickly. Once you are lost in the Atlantic, panic sets in, and in the Triangle, there are very few landmarks to help you find your way back home. Then, there is the Gulf Stream again. It is incredibly fast, sometimes moving at over 5 knots, which is faster than some boats can even travel. If a plane crashes or a ship sinks, the Gulf Stream will carry any floating debris miles away from the accident site in just a few hours. By the time rescue teams arrive at the last known coordinates, the evidence has been erased by the current, leaving the sea looking perfectly calm and empty. Human error is perhaps the most tragic factor. In a high-stress environment with failing instruments, even the most veteran pilots can make a fatal mistake. Spatial disorientation can cause a pilot to fly their plane directly into the ocean, thinking they are actually climbing or flying level with the horizon. On a calm, overcast day, the ocean and the sky look identical. Without instruments, a pilot has no way to tell which way is actually up. Modern technology has mitigated many of these risks. Today, we have redundant systems, satellite tracking, and much better weather forecasting than we did before. Every single day, hundreds of flights and ships pass through the Bermuda Triangle without any incident at all, carrying people and cargo across the world. To them, it is just another day at work. The legend is something they read about in books, not something they see on their radar screens. If the Triangle were truly a devil's zone, insurance companies would charge much higher rates for travel there, but they don't. It's considered standard risk. The cold, hard world of finance and probability doesn't recognize the Bermuda Triangle as anything special or particularly dangerous compared to other high-traffic zones. It is a place of vacation and commerce for millions, a beautiful part of the world that just happens to have a very dark and compelling story. But even with all the logic in the world, the human mind is still drawn to the mystery. We want there to be something more out there. When you look at the statistics from the US Coast Guard, the Triangle is no more dangerous than any other heavily traveled maritime region on Earth. The myth persists because we love a good mystery, and the Bermuda Triangle is perhaps the greatest mystery of the modern age we have created. It reminds us that despite our technology and our tall buildings, we are still small compared to the vastness and the power of the natural world. Is it a place of myth, a place of science, or a place of tragedy? The truth is that it is likely a combination of all three together. Our planet is full of such zones, places where the unknown still lingers, and where we are reminded to be humble in the face of nature. The Bermuda Triangle may not be a supernatural trap, but it will always be a symbol of the secrets that the deep ocean still keeps from us. As we conclude our journey, we must ask, would you have the courage to sail through the heart of the Triangle on a dark, moonless night? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysteries of the world, please like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown today. What do you think is the most likely explanation? Is it science, aliens, or just bad luck? Let us know your theories in the comments section. Thank you for watching. The ocean is vast, but our curiosity is even larger. Until next time, keep searching for the truth beneath the waves. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle lives on, not in the missing ships, but in the stories we tell to make sense of the vast, empty sea. We hope this video shed some light on the shadows of the Atlantic. Stay curious, stay safe, and always watch the horizon for the unknown things. Check out our other videos on historical mysteries and scientific wonders. Your support helps us continue these deep investigations into the world's greatest unexplained secrets.